Can you hear me now on the back? Okay, perfect. So my name is Diana Kirkova, and I'm coming from Eastern Europe. My country is called Bulgaria. This is somewhere in Europe next to Greece, but it's not so beautiful as Greece. Lately, I was working with some teams that were praying their projects to come on production, and they didn't work on the risks. Yeah, thank you. So I was thinking what to submit for this conference here, and I decided that it is a good moment to discuss what are the risks and should be optimists and pray, or we actually can do some work in order to prevent the risks. But some more about me. I started my career before 13 years in the IT field as a developer, and after that I transformed in a project manager, and after that product manager, and then I saw that it is very important to build some habits not only on our personal life but also in our working life. So I established a small Agile Habits Academy online. And I'm on my way to some certifications like CTC. And I also participate actively in the Bulgarian Agile community as a co-organizer of the community there. So I would like to start with to establish some ground understanding what is Agile, what is not Agile. So I stole this beautiful handmade picture from Michael Zahota because my handwriting is even worse. So I would like to show you here. So here you can see the waterfall and the Agile process itself. And what is the difference? What is the difference? Do you know? This is interactive session, so if someone wants to say something, it would be nice. So what is the difference that we see here? We see that at the moment when we kick off the project, everything is fine. But then if we have the traditional project management process, what's happening? In the beginning, we gather all the requirements from all the stakeholders. We collect as much as we can information. And this is in the phase 1. And in phase 2, we design our project, not only the services and the backend, but also the design, how it will look like. We design it. We finish this with this phase, and then we go with the development phase, where we develop everything at once. That it could take us, in some cases, years, because I know some projects that actually they are 3 years, and the requirements and designing phase is 1 year, and then development 2 years, and then after that, they do some small tests for a couple of months, and they deliver at the end something very well packed. And but after 3 years, it is interesting what is the outcome. So it should be something like this. And we discovered that we have so many bugs, and we don't have enough time to fix all of them. So we have to decide what should be fixed, what should not be fixed, and we are not sure that if the thing that we deliver is the thing that actually the customer required 3 years ago. So here it comes the beauty of the Agile, where we try to work on iterations, and in each iteration we try to have all those phases every time. So every time we gather requirements, every time we do planning, every time we design what we want to deliver, every time we develop something, every time we test, and every time we wrap up everything in a small, beautiful package and deliver it to the user. What are also the benefits of this is that immediately we receive feedback. And on the next iteration, that could be in 2 weeks or in 1 month, we gather more requirements, we gather a lot of feedback, and if we see that something is going wrong, we can fix it immediately. We don't get this feedback after 3 years. We get this feedback in 1 month, which makes us in a better position than the old times. So we here are focused on to deliver something working software if we're in the software field, but Agile is not only for software, but I guess most of you are in this field. So we are focused to deliver something working and something that that we can receive some feedback on it. What else? Because all of these things, we are also able to see the risks in very small chunks. There is one hypothesis by Henrik Niebuhr, and it is one of my favorites. So what is his hypothesis? If we want to deliver something in waterfall methods, if our customer comes and wants a car, wants a vehicle to move, in the first iteration, or if we have iteration, but just in the first phase of the development, we develop the tire only, and our customers are super unhappy. After that, we develop 2 tires connected with this thing to make it stable, the car, and our customers are also very unhappy. Then we deliver almost the car, but without the engine, without the thing that makes the car moves, and our customers are still unhappy. And at the end, after the 3 years, we deliver the whole car, but we're not sure actually that this is the thing that our customer wants. So what is his hypothesis? That we can actually work in smaller chunks, and if the customer comes and wants a car, we can sit down and think that actually our customer wants something, but not exactly a car, but transportation device. Because why our customer wants this? Because they want, for example, to go at work. So if we decide to work in iterations, in the first iteration, we can deliver skateboard. It is a transportation device, right? It is not very comfortable. Once we deliver it to the customers, they will be super unhappy because probably in their mind they imagine beautiful car, Porsche or Mercedes, something fancy. And we will get some feedback that, yeah, it is a transportation device, but we fall down, and it is not very comfortable. So on the second iteration, we can put something that our customers can hold, so we can prevent them for falling down. They are, again, not very happy, but look, they are not so sad as before. They have something, they can move. So here we can get the feedback that it is nice, but it is not so fast, so we cannot go very, very far. On the third iteration, we can deliver a bicycle. We can improve our delivery from before. So it is now the moment where our customer is quite happy because there is a transportation device. They're not falling down. They're able to go further, but not enough. On the fourth iteration, we can add an engine to that. So our customers can go further, maybe to the next closed city, or maybe further, and see, look, our customers now are happy, more happy, and at the end, when we deliver the car, actually our customers are also happy. So from phase 3 till the end, we see happy faces. We still get some feedback that there are some things that we need to fix on the next deliveries, but our customers are not unhappy as the previous version, where all the time they were unhappy and at the end they are happy. And what is the beauty? That actually here we can find out, and not only we, but our customers can find out that they don't need the car, because maybe it is very expensive, but they need the transportation device somewhere between the step 3 and the step 4. And actually it will cost them less, and it will be very easy for parking and other benefits. So we can help our customers to define what they need, delivering something in iteration. It is the same with the risk. Delivering everything at the end of the project is a big risk because we spend more money and time goes on. Delivering small things, because in the beginning of the project, for example, in the first phase, we didn't spend so much money. The time was not expired, and we can get some feedback, and the risk is so small. So if we get a feedback like, well, the color of the car is not exactly this that we want it, but we want another one, we can immediately fix it, not at the end of the project where we don't have enough time. Or the engine is not so strong enough, I want to stronger engine, this is game changer, so we can also fix it in the beginning. If we receive this feedback like something huge is not as it should be, it should destroy our project in general, and we could be in the situation where we spend so much money and we spend so much time, but we didn't deliver anything to the customers. So it is important to receive the feedback and minimize the risk. Once we see there is a risk, there are 4 things that we can do. And we will practice a little bit in a minute with the workshop that we will do. So when you see the risk is coming, we can identify the risk, assess the risk, respond to the risk, and review the risk. We will see how very, very soon. Before we see that there is a risk, we have to make sure that our environment is actually a safe environment. So everybody, you have to establish very good communication process in your teams. So you have always to establish the roles and the responsibilities, so people do not fight each other, and people do not point fingers, you should do this, you should do that. So clear roles in the teams are very important as well. And you have to reduce, and this way we will reduce the change of confrontation. So establishing very safe and healthy environment is very important. So let's talk about just five minutes more, and we will start with the workshop, with the fun part, about the risk. When you see that risk is coming, how actually you can identify that? Can you think what kind of techniques you know, how you can recognize that there is a risk? I will give you one just to help you. Like on the requirements workshop. This is the event where you sit down with your team. Before that, you sit down with the stakeholders, or the product manager sit down with the stakeholders, gather all the requirements, and on the workshop with your team, you sit down and discuss all the stories that should be done. And if there is something unclear, if there is a necessary uncertain thing, you can go back to the stakeholders and make the things clear. As much clearer are the requirements, less risks you will have later. So do you know other techniques? Do you know other events that you can do during the project? And you can discuss if there is a risk or no. Like the daily stand-up or something? Retrospective meetings? Yes. On the retrospective meetings is one of the events that we can discuss the risks. So what we do on the retrospective? Yeah. So on the retrospective meetings, we ask ourselves what did we do well in the previous iteration with the team, and what we can do better or what we can keep doing. So we discuss how to improve the process, and if everything was missing, we can address it, and we can make sure that this not will happen in the next iteration. Another event is the planning poker, when the product manager makes sure that you have all the stories prepared in the backlog. You together with the team, product manager and the team, discuss what is the size of the stories. And very often we use this technique, planning poker, where we can see if the stories are oversized or they're with normal size. For example, when I see that stories are oversized, it means that the risk is very big because we don't know so many things. We have so many unclear things in the stories, so the risk becomes bigger. And this is the moment where the product manager could go back to the stakeholders and ask more questions, but the team could help this guy to collect the unclear things for this story. On the sprint planning as well, we can also address the risk there. Because in general, the team commits on the sprint planning that they can deliver something that they're sure that they are certain that they know that they can deliver it. So if there is uncertainty here as well on some of the stories, again could be addressed and minimize the risk. What about the daily stand-up? Do you have daily stand-ups in your teams?
Yes.
So how does this help us?
Identify obstructions, if they're stuck on things that were not here to start with, and we need a big wall when we try to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Every team member share what they did yesterday, what they're going to do today, and if they have any obstacles or unclear things of their stories. And this is a clear sign to the product manager or scrum master or someone who could help you to remove the obstacles. So this is the good place where you can see that you see a risk because something is not clear. So we can address the risk there as well. On the sprint review meeting, we also thought about that, and the sprint retrospective. Oh, we spoke about the sprint retrospective. So on the sprint review meeting, it's very good place as well to show what's ready in this sprint. So this is the moment where we can get some feedback from the stakeholders and from the product managers. Are we on the right way? If we are going to deliver the correct thing, because I've been once in this project and we were not so iteration way of doing the things. So we were developing something for 3 months, and on the sprint retrospective, on the sprint review, on the demo session that we did in front of the management decided to cancel the project because the logging part was not clear. And we were, what? We did something for 3 months and we will not deploy it on production? Oh. So it is very, very good to do these sprint review, sprint demo sessions very often in front of the product managers, stakeholders, to receive the feedback and see if you decide to go on the right way. So once you identify the risks on one of those meetings, or in another way, if you have other ways, you have to analyze each risk. You have to classify the risk. So there is a broad categorization that the risk could be divided in business risk, technological risk, or logical risk. But also there is one more popular categorization, which is called PEST-LE, that where we divide the risks to political, economical, social risk, technology, legal, and economic risk. So analyzing the risks, there is one very nice technique. It is called risk board that we will practice in a minute, where we have probability and impact lines, and we have to put the risk on the dashboard and decide what is the probability to happen and what is the impact. So is it going to happen, and is it going to destroy our project? So this technique is one of my favorites. And another one, if you use, for example, Atlassian products in Jira, there is a burn down chart that you can show you with the time in the sprint. Are you going okay? Are you closing most of the stories on time? So it will show you, are you able to deliver most of the stories in this sprint on time? And just quickly, we can go on the third step. When you see the risk, when you decide is it going to destroy your project or not, you can create an action plan. But you have to decide, are you going to avoid the risk? Are you going to mitigate the risk? Are you going to transfer the risk? Maybe you can outsource it to somewhere. Or are you going to accept the risk? So you have 4 choices. You have to decide what to do. And then, when we know our risks, when we know what to do with them, we have to monitor them continuously and see if they appear or not. So, before we start with the workshop, I would like you to make a small icebreaker on each table, and maybe the guys on the back, you can also organize one circle, stand circle, I'm sorry. So on each table, because maybe most of you don't know each other, present yourself to the guys next to you, and make sure that you know 5 things about this person. And after that, this person also should present he or herself to you, and you have to know 5 things about he or she. And then after 5 minutes, everybody should present someone in front of the table, so you get to know each other better. So you both exchange information, 5 nice things about each other, and then the other one will present the other in front of the table. Attention, please. You can raise your hand freely. Okay, guys. I guess now you know more about each other, and now you are a team. You have small numbers on your tables. Table 1, table 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Your table is over there. I made my best to organize a table for you guys. So this is the marshmallow challenge. Maybe some of you know it, but the idea of this exercise will be that we will do something now. After that, I will give you some time to debrief and decide what were the risks that you did with this dashboard with impact and probability. And after that, we will do it again and see if we have better results. So what is the task now? You have 4 things on your tables. You have 20 spaghetti. You have 1 masking tape, but you have to use only the half of the masking tape, because the other half you will need it for the second part of the workshop. So make sure you have some tape for the second part. You have 1 marshmallow, and you have 1 meter of row of string. With these things, you have to build, what are the rules? With these things, you have to build the tallest structure that you can, and the marshmallow should be on the top. So you have to make sure that your structure is freestanding, because at the end of the exercise, I will measure it, and the winning team will be the tallest structure. And I have Bulgarian candies for the winning team. So you have to, the entire marshmallow should be on the top, so don't eat the half of it, please. I have enough marshmallows for after that. Use all materials you need. That means that you can, it is not mandatory to use all of them, but just what you need. But the marshmallow should be on the top. This is the only must thing. Break the spaghetti, cut the string or the tape, everything you need. The challenge is time boxed. You will have only 12 minutes. And after that, I will measure the structure from the table. Do you have any questions? You have to use the spaghetti, you have to use the string. The marshmallow is must. It should be on the top. It should be freestanding structure. No holding. When I measure, it should be freestanding structure. And you can use the scissors to cut the straw. Do you have questions? Or we can start. Everybody sit down. Don't touch the freestanding structure. May I have your attention? Oops, it wasn't my purpose. Okay, guys, let's measure now. What are the results? Do we have ta-da or we have oh no? So, table number 1. Table number 1, 40 something? 47? 39? And do we have another one? I see you. I think we already have a winner. It is 23. So we have the winner. Table number 1. You received Bulgarian candies when I found them, because I think someone stole them. So what is the next exercise? programmers taught them. But just one of the boxes for table number 1.
We did it all for the camera.
Yes.
Usually in Nepal we get first, second, third prizes.
I will know for next time. Thank you. Here you are, guys. So what we do next? You have to discuss now in the retrospective meeting what went well, what went wrong, and what you can do better. We will have one more round, but I will give you 15 minutes to discuss how you can make it better. So on the colorful paper that you have, can you draw this probability and impact dashboard? So this is the probability, and this is the impact. And on the sticky notes, you put your risks. So for example, the marshmallow was very big, or we didn't have enough rope, or we didn't do anything, or we didn't work as a team, we didn't collaborate a lot. So allocate your risks, put them on a sticky note, and decide where to put them on the dashboard. If the risk, there is a high probability to happen, it should be higher. And if the impact is destroying your freestanding structure, if the impact is very big, should be as much on the left. So on the top corner, you will see what are the highest risks that you have. So try to put all the sticky notes on the dashboard, and we will see a couple which are the most important risks, and see how you can solve those problems. So you can apply the solution on the next round, and we will see if we will get better results. So you have 15 minutes in total to discuss, but I suggest you 10 minutes, 5 minutes to think what are the risks, and then 10 minutes to discuss where to put them on the dashboard. Yes, remove all the things. I will give you brand new sets, brand new spaghetti. Should I measure it?
Yeah. All the way set.
I will quickly measure. So the winner in the second round is table number 2. So I don't know where my candies are here, but can you give them the second box? So you guys, what is important to remember from this session is that you have to consider that there are risks, and you have to consider that there are some tools like this dashboard about the impact and probability. So it is not so bad to talk for the risks, discuss them, and see how to solve them. One thing that I also wanted to share with you, that actually sometimes could appear that there are positive risks. And this is something like when you estimate something and it appears that actually later is less work than you were expected. This is a positive risk. But unfortunately in the real world, there are not so many positive risks, and most of them are negative. So we have to prevent them from realization, or minimize, manage, or neutralize the impact of them. So thank you so much for participation in this session. I hope you enjoy it, and see you around. I will give you the canvas.